Hello and welcome to another episode of Photography Out Loud. My name is Paul Davis, and as always, I'm joined with my co-host Joel Longbone.
Oh,
Nearly didn't get all that sentence out then. Just about got there.
Yeah.
It's help from assistance from our special guest that will be joining
Yeah.
us very, very shortly. So I only had 30 seconds to compose myself.
Yeah, exactly.
So thank you very much. Thank you for everyone joining live. It's always lovely to see you. Please let us know that you're watching live.
Yeah.
Put your comments in there. Say hello. It's always lovely to see your comments.
Yes.
And
Andy saying hello. Saw you yesterday. Good
Andy,
to see you.
yeah.
And hello to David. Good to see you. Well, we say to see you.
We
see
always
your name,
do.
To see your name and your small profile picture that we can see.
Yeah. So it's kind of seeing you.
Hello, Paul Sanders. He's just put a comment in.
It's commenting already.
Yeah.
Oh dear me. Today's episode we will be in a very short while introducing our special guest for today, Paul Sanders.
Yeah.
So
Have a good chat with him.
Yeah, it should be.
There'll be no comedy involved whatsoever.
None. No. So
If you want a boring conversation, this is the one to stay with. I'm joking.
I think it's literally going to be the opposite of that, isn't
Exactly.
it? Yeah. So
We apologise if we laugh too much in this one.
yeah,
We blame Paul solely.
yeah. We were saying before that I'm probably going to be like a write-off for half of this episode just because I struggle enough to compose myself. So, but we'll see how we go.
Yeah.
So,
Hello, Howard from Cheshire, and hello, Anne. Hope you're well. And Paul says, so special. It's a special guest.
so special.
Oh dear. So are we going to talk about this first, or talk about that?
I think we'll save it to the end. We're going to keep it there,
Oh,
so you might actually see the little,
yeah.
a little teaser. So we are going to be talking about this particular camera sort of at the end of this special episode.
Hello, Erica.
Hello, and yes, but it's been a busy week
Hasn't it just?
because we were back open.
I know. It seems odd in so many ways.
It is. I tell you, it's been absolutely wonderful seeing customers go.
Definitely.
So,
100%.
and we've had some customers come in that we haven't seen all of lockdown as well. So they're feeling a little bit safe enough to come back out again and see us.
What's
so
that, like 7 months?
yeah. So it's been wonderful
Almost
opening our
8
doors. Yeah.
It's a long
Yeah,
time.
no, it's been a long time. It has been a very long time. So it's wonderful to see some of your customers. And if you have been coming in, thank you so much for bearing with us as well. We know there's been a little bit of waiting time, a little bit of queuing,
And waiting on the phone.
and waiting on the phone. So we do appreciate everyone that gets in contact with us or pops into the shop. Just bearing with us as well while we make sure that everyone is safe.
100%.
If you did want to come and see us, you can pop in at any time if you live in Wales. Sorry for everyone that lives in England. We are very much looking forward to.
David's just said,
having you
you're
back
open
in.
and I can't visit.
I know. But not long. Don't worry.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully, all being well.
And we've already started planning some workshops and events.
We have indeed. Yeah.
Hopefully get at least 1 or 2 in before Christmas.
Yeah.
Even if there's one on Christmas Eve, taking pictures of Santa Claus.
Yeah, we'll do something. Yeah. If you did want to come and see us in the shop, you can book a slot on our website, and it might be a little bit easier. Cuts down some of that waiting time if you're waiting outside or anything like that. And if we know that you're coming, then we can make sure that we can serve you on the allotted
We quite
slots
often
time.
will get all the equipment together. If we
So
know what you want to look at.
You're not spending as much time sort of out, and it's a bit safer that way as well.
Stay as safe as possible.
Yeah, indeed. So, is it time, Joel?
It is time. Now, let's quickly just go through the comments.
Okay.
Hello, Tina. And Paul Pants Sanders. And Paul Sanders says, who said pants? So I think that kind of introduces the situation well. I think you're going to be interested to see what Paul is now wearing, Paul.
Oh yeah, because I can't. I'm monitoring the live here, so I can't actually see what's happening. And so you're Mr. Background, and you can see all the comments there. So I might have a little shock when he reappears.
And also, just before we get started, feel free to put any questions in that you have for Paul, whatever they are. but I might have to censor some of them. If they're going to produce too many silly answers, then I might have to say no. So, but right, let's get Paul.
Introducing Paul Sanders.
Yeah, let's have a quick chat. Or not so quick. You light up our lives, Paul.
I'm trying. I want to add a little sparkle. Seeing you were talking about Father Christmas, you see, I thought I could add some magic and sparkle. Sparkle a bit of glitter over the two of you. The two of you together look like Santa's elves.
I was going to get Paul some beard glitter, and then we can get him to climb a roof and we can photograph him. That could be our workshop.
There is a hint of fairy about both of you, so you'd be fine.
Paul's gone now. Anyway, so let's get started. So we've seen you recently, Paul, a few times. Hence some of the odd comments.
Yeah,
the odd comments. And just before anybody gets confused, this is not Marty Pello from Wet, 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 despite the fact that Paul looks like him, apparently.
Yeah, I'm a sweet little mystery.
Part of this project was to email the pictures to me. And I've had a few emails come through that says Marty's project or I love seeing you and Marty on screen. I'm like, okay. So that's been quite funny.
So you mentioned project there.
Yeah.
I mean, what have you two been up to?
Well, we've done 4 videos.
What do you want to know?
Oh dear. Right. So episode 1.
It's terrible. I can't stop him calling late at night when Rachel's asleep. He's always on the phone. Always ringing me up, text messages. You should see some of the pictures he sent. He sent me one called "By the Back Door," and I was like, "Joel, really?"
So we had what were they? After dark, on my way or on the way, and by the back door.
On the way, by the back door. That's it.
And the project was that you were using those as loose briefs to guide your photography. And you had from when we started, which was last week, the end of last week, till Monday at 23:59 to email them to me or send them via Facebook Messenger or post them on our Facebook wall. And then we're going to produce a virtual gallery on our website to show all of the work that came through. And then also when COVID has hopefully calmed down, we're going to have a gallery at the shop and print off the images, and then also make a book of all the images. So that should be very cool. And some of the shots coming through look great. And so, yeah, if you want to get involved, go and watch the episodes previous. Say again, sorry, Paul.
You said some of the shots look great. That's a bit judgmental, Joel.
Sorry, all of the shots look great.
Thank you. Why are you discouraging the people that are watching some of their shots?
I was talking about your clips that you sent through.
I sent you an enlargement.
Hey?
I sent you an enlargement.
Wait. Right, so there's 3 titles.
Yeah.
There's 3 titles and 3 images per title, so a total of 9 images that you can send to us.
Yeah.
So if you're not sure still what we're talking about, go and watch the other videos and you can have a giggle at me and Paul talking nonsense with a little bit of sense occasionally.
That Paul. Nope. Yeah, I was pointing the right way. The one over there. Yeah.
I just feel like pointing at the screen. That Paul that I can see in front of me.
So you can go and watch those back, and you can see those on our Facebook and YouTube pages as well. So anytime that you want to go back and look at those briefs, then you can do. So I mean, do you get Paul? Do you get inspiration? Where do you get your inspiration from setting briefs like this? Do they just sort of come out of thin air, or?
Well, the After Dark one came because it was after dark when I thought about it. The On My Way came because I was on my way from the house to my office, which is literally across the garden out of the back door. You can see where the backdoor one came from. And the thing is, we overcomplicate our photography often because we try so hard to find places that are great to photograph. And actually, we overlook the simplicity of what's on our doorstep. And I think this year in particular, we've sort of had to change the way we view our photography and locations. So people have had to work a little bit closer to home, or on their kind of hour-long exercise, or in their garden, or in their lounge, or whatever. And it's made people think a little bit differently about how they approach photography. So inspiration for me comes from the garden, getting up in the morning. I was going to say lying in bed, but that would just set Joel off and send him the wrong way. And it's playing. Photography is play. Photography is an open, curious mind and having fun. And you're much more likely to have fun somewhere where you feel a bit safer, such as home, rather than halfway up a mountain where you might fall off and die.
Oh. That was extreme.
Health and safety first.
Yeah, so this project that you came up with the titles that we now know how you came up with them, how are you dealing with this lockdown and the first lockdown as a photographer and as a person?
Oh, well, you see, the first lockdown actually for me was a bit of a blessing because it came just at the right time because of the condition I suffer with. I find getting about quite exhausting, and it came just at the right point for me. So I was able to literally gear back and sort of reassess what I wanted to do. The second one has been a lot harder because I've sort of started doing small workshops, and I've got quite a lot of things arranged between kind of September and December. And of course, they've all been cancelled. So all of a sudden, you've gone from planning ahead to giving money back to people to reorganizing. And I found this one quite stressful. Not least because it's the feeling is not very many people are sort of taking it seriously over here. They're not sort of following it. And I think there's a lot of sort of misinformation about stuff. So I think this one's a bit, it's a difficult one, a more difficult one to deal with. Plus, it's not as sunny, and it was quite, it's quite nice sunbathing in the garden in March. Right?
Yeah, it was that was true. I mean, when we first went into lockdown, it was quite nice.
There's hardly a day of rain.
Yeah, and obviously. This time of year as well, I mean, we all get into that sort of, it's getting darker anyway and stuff like that. So it's colder. We tend not to want to go out as much anyway. And then obviously we've got the sort of, having to stay in a lot more as well, sort of built in on top of that. So it can be hard. But this is why, we do little things like this to hopefully
bring a little bit of joy.
Yeah, a little bit of joy.
And hilarity.
Some loose briefs.
Anne says, you remind me. Say again?
Go on. After you.
Anne says,
what you're going to say
reminds me of mischievous, giggly schoolboys mentioning naughty words.
Joel, Paul just said pants on live television.
Oh dear.
Oh, you're lucky I didn't say nipples, then we'd all be in trouble.
Oi! So during the first lockdown, did you work on any specific projects, or did you catch up on anything that you'd kind of you haven't finished? Or
no, I just realigned my business to be more online oriented and sort of ran some online workshops based around mindful practice, which surprised me. They were really successful, and I really enjoy working from home because as much as I love exploring the world, actually, I love being at home. So I was really quite happy to spend my time here. I mean, I ended up photographing. I spent one morning lying on my stomach photographing the dew on the grass, very happily. And it was just trying out different ideas, just messing around with things. Fujifilm sent me a 30mm lens for the GFX to test as a landscape photographer, which I thought was quite funny because I couldn't actually go out to test it. So I whacked all the extension tubes I've got on and used it as a macro lens, which is somewhat surprised when I got the pictures back. But it's just having fun with it. You know, it was literally, okay, what can I do with this? Because I can't go and do my normal things. So, you know, shooting little projects in the garden and in the woods opposite the house. We're a bit of a lifesaver, and it's been great to work with so many people online and over Zoom who've taken the briefs and the mindfulness thing they're just as loose as the ones I've given you here, but probably not quite as obscure. But seeing they come up with their interpretation on them. And, you know, it's encouraging them to photograph things in their own way, you know, because there's no right or wrong with photography, despite the fact that so many people say, that's good, this is bad. You know, there is no right or wrong. Your own vision can't be wrong. Your own way of interpreting something isn't wrong. And this is what so many people get into, the right and wrong, the good and bad. And they judge it, and then they judge themselves really harshly, and that actually starts a sort of a spiral of a lack of self-confidence, lack of self-esteem. I'm not good enough. And you really want people to go, do you know what? It doesn't matter how good I am in, you know, good.
Yeah.
I'm good enough. So whether I'm a beginner or whether I'm really experienced, I'm good enough for me. And yes, I can learn and I can improve and I can build a technique, but I'm actually good enough. So thankfully, I've been, you know, amazed by the people that have committed to the courses, because their work has blown me away. You know, absolutely blown me away. Some really, really inspirational photography from all various stuff. People apologize for using their phone. I'm like, why are you apologizing? No,
You're a
Sorry?
great proponent of using your phone, aren't you?
Yeah, because it's a sketchbook.
Yeah,
you know, it's something you have with you all the time. So if you're out and you see something, you might as well use the camera that you've got with you. And if that's the camera you've got with you, then it's the perfect camera.
You know what?
You know, I know it doesn't help you guys.
It's as a sketchbook. I've always seen it as, you know, a tool in your potential arsenal to have. You know, so it's a camera that you can use, but actually defining it as like the sketchbook, it's just like, yeah, I'm just going to roughly take something now, and then I'll come back with my canvas and I'll come back with my lovely paints, you know, another day, because, you know, I've got this image in my sketchbook, and then I can work from that, as it were. So we like analogies here, by the way. There'll be a food one in a bit, won't there, Joel?
Yeah. You know, my job as a photographer is to encourage and inspire. It's not about whether I'm a good or bad photographer. It's whether I can use my experience to inspire other people to enjoy photography as much as I do. I love sharing the madness of my little world with people, because, you know, we take it far too seriously, and people get really obsessed with the technical minutiae of photography, and actually that's the least important bit. It doesn't matter, you know, what you've got, how many pixels you've got, what size your lens is. If you don't have the confidence to see a picture in your own right, actually you're always going to struggle. You're always going to think you're not good enough. You know, so for some people, using a phone is really brilliant because they're almost invisible. You know, we think nothing now of seeing somebody put a phone up and take a selfie or photograph something. We just turn a blind eye to it. 10 years ago, if you held an SLR up and photographed a plate of food, people would have thought you're mad. Now you barely notice people doing it.
It's true.
And it's a really good stepping stone as well, because people start with the phone and then they might buy, sort of a little sort of compact sort of digital camera, or sort of an entry level APS-C or something, just to give them a little bit more flexibility.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I think with technology moving on as much now as well, is that you can almost use these you can use these sort of fairly modern cameras almost like a phone as well, can't you? So they're very intelligent. You can sort of point them in one way, and you can get very much like a phone type picture in its intelligence, as it were.
Yeah.
But the quality then is improved with the upgrade in camera as well.
Sure. No, and just the points you were making, Paul. Anne says the Mindful projects were inspiring, and Andy Yates says, Paul Sanders, you are an inspiration, and great words, thank you. So that's really encouraging. A quick side note. Hey,
checks in the post.
And Helen asks, is Monday the deadline for our loose briefs homework? Yes, 23:59 on Monday. And David Metcalf says, I've had the doubts about my photography and also lost my way as I couldn't get out. I feel like there's quite a few people who've had that issue.
I nearly gave up about 5 years ago. I felt myself in a hole. I wasn't sort of progressing the way that I wanted to, and I had to stop taking pictures. And thankfully, it came back. And then with the break, that I had,
you had a photography sabbatical.
Yeah, it was, and it became an enjoyment again. I mean, it can be difficult for people that use it as a job as well as a hobby, and it's sometimes very difficult to cut that sort of the enjoyment down. But
would it be like a chef?
Yeah, there you go. I knew that was coming.
Right.
Tick your list. Food analogy done. There we go.
I feel like I possibly could have done that. Like, it could have happened to me, but my kids came along just at the point where, like, obviously you want to photograph them and like all the memories and experiences you go through. So that's kind of given me a direction with my photography, because I think it is difficult to, especially if you're working a lot or you've got something else going on in your life that takes you away from being able to de-stress and kind of take away that kind of thing in the back of your head that's like blocking your creativity almost. So
that's brilliant.
I mean, it's hard if you lose your motivation or your mojo. It can be quite hard to get it back, because the first thing you do is you put pressure on yourself to photograph something. Yeah. And as soon as you put pressure on yourself to do something, your creativity dips. And then you stress about it, so your creativity dips a bit more. Your self-esteem goes. Your creativity dips a bit more. You put more pressure on yourself. And what you do with putting the camera down is it's the right thing to do. I mean, when people say, "Oh, as a professional, you probably don't ever lose your mojo." God, I probably lose my mojo times a week, but getting it back is, I mean, some say I've never had a mojo to lose.
Behave.
But the key is to take the pressure off yourself. I mean, that's why I use techniques like writing about pictures. So rather than take a camera, I take a notebook and I just write down, blue sky, golden light, green trees, grass, wind in the hedge and birds tweet, and just write down what I'm experiencing and create a picture that way. And gradually through that process, you just think, actually, I really want to photograph that. And you've not put any pressure on yourself to photograph anything. You're enjoying the experience. And it's the experience that we're trying to capture. It's not you when you go out to photograph things, you're photographing an experience. You're photographing something that's having an effect on you. To photograph for just the the sake of taking a picture to enter into something or to show somebody, I mean, forgive me for saying it, but I think it's largely pointless. There'll be people now that want to shoot me, but
Each to their own.
yeah, you've got to enjoy the experience. And Helen Smith is right when she says that Mojos used to cost half a pence. They did. Where have all the half-p coins gone, and where are the Mojos now?
I'm just waiting for the half penny to drop my end because I think that went right over my head, that one.
No. They used to have half pennies.
Okay.
Halfpennies.
How old are you, Paul?
I'm 30. How old am I? 34.
You'd have only, you might have just about been at the beginning of the half-p.
The beginning.
That's
really
right.
Wow.
It's my nickname, that half.
I remember though, my grandparents bought us a game called Shove Halfpenny.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is a cool game. I think
Yeah.
I brought it into work that time for the Olympus.
Oh yeah, no, I like
event.
playing that game.
That's cool.
Yeah.
The palm of your hand hurts after like smacking the coin against the table a lot. But what were Mojos then? Were they sweets?
Yeah, they're sweets. Yeah.
What do they look
I'm trying to remember now. Helen will tell you if you ask her.
what kind of sweets were they?
We had Mojos, blackjacks, drumsticks. They were banned. Blackjacks were banned.
Blackjacks would make your teeth go like a
They
grey.
would, yeah. But yeah, there were loads that you could go to the shop with 10p and come back with rotten teeth. That you could get that many sweets.
And how much did it cost?
They were the days.
Yeah.
Oh, Mojos are like refreshers,
Okay.
like fruit salads or blackjacks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got a few people chiming in now.
I can get into some of that.
Fruit salads are good.
Nobody wants to talk about photography. You mentioned old fashioned. It goes.
Helen says tiny rectangles in wax paper, fruity like Vimto. Oh, nice.
Ooh, very nice.
Purple.
Oh, you see now, Erica's got it with Tutti Fruities.
There we go. Oh, Tutti Fruities are hard on your teeth though.
Tutti Fruities.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So
before we keep talking about food,
we do this so we get the comments. You see.
like our version of clickbait.
Yeah, it's clickbait. We just mentioned sweets
clickbait.
or different types of buns you can get around the UK.
Oh yeah, is it a roll?
Is it a roll?
batch?
A
Is it
bat?
a
A barn?
I like a nice creamy bun.
So lots of our viewers like to talk about gear.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not the be all and end all, but you kind of have to have some form of equipment to make an image, even if it is a can with a hole in it and some light sensitive paper on the inside.
Yeah.
So what would be your perfect kind of gear setup? And this could be, for like, if you're just going out for a walk, what would that look like? And maybe if you were, maybe you'd had your sketchbook of your iPhone and you've been working on creating this image in your mind, you've written about it. What do you go and take with you to create that shot, make that shot on a camera?
As little as possible, but I would quite happily. If somebody made a camera that had a square sensor and didn't have any of those rubbishy program buttons or knobs and things on it, just had numbers, I'd be really happy. Those manufacturers that are insisting on putting everything down to the program manual, aperture and shutter priority buttons, it's like
we won't talk about the XS10 then.
Just give me a really nice simple Fujifilm camera that's designed for just taking pictures without all that video rubbish on it, because I don't need it. Photographers don't need it. They just keep it really simple for us. That'll also bring the price down, and that makes photography much more accessible.
Hey, Paul.
Yes.
Bring your camera equipment down when lockdown's over, and I'll super glue, paint over, and generally just make your camera do just that for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I put some cardboard bits over your sensor so it turns square as well.
Why have you got soft edges?
Well, you see, if I don't like something on a camera or a lens, I chop it off. I did have a Zeiss 15mm lens with a fixed lens hood, and I took a hacksaw to the lens hood and sawed it off.
I'm never part Xing any of your equipment in ever again, Paul.
It's one of those things that I think a lot of manufacturers make stuff because they can, not because it's needed. And sometimes they don't think about what people actually use, or they try and think about what too many people use and apply it to one piece of kit. If you look at the cameras from the cheapest to the most expensive, they've all got exactly the same on them.
Yeah.
So
like a car.
Yeah, like a car, steering wheel, 4 wheels, speedo.
There we go. Yeah. Oh, Paul's on the analogies now.
Yeah.
Love it.
Anyway, talking about speedos.
Oh dear.
Oh,
Right. Anyway,
so David's come in with a comment there. He says, "If I'm assuming he says money was no object, what camera will I buy?" I would still probably have my GFX.
Okay.
would you
Nicest camera I've used.
would you ask Fuji to do like a custom job on it for you
Yes.
and make the sensor actually
Square.
fully square?
Yeah.
And
If I won the lottery, I would insist that they made me a square one.
we could have the Paul Sanders, the PFX,
Yeah.
or the PFX.
It would have to be called the PGSX. PGSX.
Okay. There we go. The signature GFX from Paul Sanders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feel them.
Or
Yeah.
the SQX, that would be good.
Yeah. Oh, that's a bit of a throwback, isn't it?
Oh.
Yeah.
But Fuji there now at head office going, this is some good stuff. This is. I'm writing all this down.
Yeah. If they listened to me, they wouldn't have changed the way the top knobs are.
Very true. Very true.
Sorry, Fuji. I do love the guys at Fujifilm.
Now, if you
but
wanted a small camera,
if I want a small camera,
yeah. Would you just take your phone, or would you use a small compact or a bridge camera? What's that? Is that the X100V?
Yeah, that's the one you want.
It is.
Yeah.
I am slightly lusting and coveting after that.
Right. I never, ever, ever have cases for my cameras or lens hoods. Right, get the lens. One of the lens hoods come with the lenses. I take them off and throw them straight in the bin. This one, I actually bought a little lens hood for it because I got a bit obsessed with it. So my strap matches, my case matches. I bought a black lens hood. I got all kind of. I went all fashionista about how it looks.
Nice.
You went to town on it.
Yeah. Right now, I won't take it out in the rain in case it gets wet. But the GFX, I leave standing by the sea, covered in all sorts of rubbish. This, I polish it every time.
If you put the weather-resistant kit on it, it makes it waterproof.
But then it spoils the look of it.
Yeah.
Oh no!
It's got to look right, John.
No. A camera is a tool to be used, not an object of desire.
Well, that's the thing. See, I've gone all cyclist over it because when I was a cyclist, everything on my bike had to match, and all my kit had to match the bike. You see, and I've done that with that camera. GFX is a working camera. That's a toy.
There you go. Yeah,
it is a very nice toy.
And I think it helps sometimes having that especially if you do. So if any of our viewers are actually, professional working photographers as well, please let us know. But you might find it easier sometimes if you still like taking pictures as a hobby to have like your professional working kit, but then also just to have something as a little bit of fun, really.
So, like, if you were a truck driver and then you had like a little roadster sports car.
4 analogies.
I will say something though. The X100 series of cameras is the only camera, really, I think, that I've ever used that really, every time I see it or pick one up, even if it's in the cabinet and somebody asks to have a look at it, it makes me want to go and
just use it.
Yeah,
and have it with you.
Just that focal length, the way it feels, the way it looks, just the images it produces. It's just fantastic.
No, that's lovely.
What's that?
One of these, a square pinhole camera.
Ooh.
6x6 pinhole. Made by Really So Subtle. It's beautiful.
That's
I love
cool.
it. Yeah. Very, very similar in size, but a lot lighter than the X100.
Okay.
Takes film.
I was going to ask where you put the memory card in.
Yeah. Do you enjoy shooting on film? Is that something that you like doing?
Yeah, it's good. Because film is alive. Film is a living, breathing entity. Light reacts with the silver grows or shrinks, changes shape, the chemicals have an effect on it. So it's a living, breathing thing. Digital photography is, it's a little bit like, sort of shunting a train around sometimes.
Yeah. Less romantic, we'll say.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah. Whereas film has a romance, it has a depth, there's something beautiful about film, the quality of film.
So hopefully next year we're going to run some film and darkroom workshops so that people can experience the magic of seeing a print
in a darkroom.
Oh,
yeah, because that is quite a magical experience.
It's just,
Your first time in a dark room.
First time in a dark room.
Right, moving on.
You know what? I'm laughing before even he drops the joke.
I know, because you know what's going to come.
When he doesn't do it, I look like I'm laughing for no reason.
It just leaves you there hanging.
Guys, can I ask a question before we go on? This is really important. Yeah. Did you both start growing your beard at the same time?
No.
Paul
has been growing it for like years.
Yeah, like 12 years now.
12?
Yeah.
Really?
Or maybe
even when
10.
you had the emo hair?
Yeah, even when I had emo hair. And thanks for that, Joel.
If you want to see some Paul's hair, go on our YouTube channel to some of the videos right.
Oh, yeah, right at the beginning.
Ages ago. There's a time-lapse video of you with your hair long.
Yeah, I was super serial back then.
And I started growing mine at the beginning of lockdown because I wasn't going to have to see customers. So my wife said, let's see what it looks like.
Yeah,
and so
I was a little bit concerned. I've been thinking about it because I gave you a bit of a hard time for it. And now I look at Paul's full grown, beautifully shaped, groomed beard. And you're like a teenager that's like grooming the bum fluff on his lip. Have you combed that up from your chest?
There might be enough.
Right.
But ironically, my wife said at the end of lockdown, I don't want you to cut it off because you don't look like a 12-year-old anymore. So there we are.
You do look kind of rugged though, Joel.
I do the what?
You do look a bit rugged. You look a bit like Chris Pratt, the guy in Jurassic World.
Yeah,
I'll take that.
Yeah. I can see it.
He's a good-looking lad.
Yeah.
Cheers, Marty.
But Chris Pratt maybe Parks and Rec rather than.
Shut up, you. You don't need enemies when you got friends like these two. That's hilarious.
Oh.
Right, let's go through these comments.
Let's have a look at some of the comments.
Lawrence Dunn says, Paul, glad to see you're an inspiration to so many people. Still the best Times picture editor I worked under.
Oh,
there we go. So yeah, if you didn't know, Paul Sanders
Lawrence.
used to work for the Times
Yeah,
as picture
Lawrence.
editor. So there we go.
Yeah, long time ago. But Lawrence used to do all the imaging work for me, and he's an absolute genius with Photoshop. What that man can't do with Photoshop isn't worth knowing. Absolute genius.
There we are. Maybe we need to get you to do a workshop on Photoshop. Right.
Well, you get Lawrence to do one, not me.
Oh, apparently Andy remembers. So Andy did the electrics in the shop at the beginning of lockdown. So he saw it when it was just starting to sprout. I guess. Things.
We'll go with sprout job.
Coming out of my face. So there we are.
That's brilliant. We haven't had any direct questions to Paul yet.
Well, we had about the GFX.
Yeah,
if money was no object, what camera would you buy?
Okay. My apologies.
Yeah, so
But
David Metcalf asked that, but we can answer.
if you have any more questions that you'd like to answer, Paul, just while we're continuing through this, please drop them into the comments, and he's, he'll do his best to answer them, or we'll maybe. I'll try. Yeah, no, that's brilliant.
One way around it.
Yeah.
Do you obviously you're in lockdown at the moment, but pending being released again, do you have anything that you've been working on that you are going to focus on once you're out of lockdown? Have you got any projects in mind or any images that are in your mind that you need to kind of make?
No, I mean, this is the weird thing, because I don't really shoot projects, not in a sort of long-term way, because all the work I shoot is one kind of project, really, because it's always about the emotional connection I have with wherever I am. The pictures that I shoot, I don't research the locations either. I just rock up and see what's on offer on the day, because I find it, I mean, this goes against the grain of many sort of landscape photographers, but if you over plan, you can end up being really disappointed.
Yeah.
So I prefer not to plan, and then I'm always pleasantly surprised by what's there. Because the days I used to use like the photographer's ephemeris and look at all the tide tables and plan the weather and all the rest of it, I'd always get there and it was like, really, it's just not what I wanted. Yeah. And actually, you can't control the weather, the clouds, the sun, or anything like that. You can give yourself the best opportunity, but you can't control it. So I just sort of go with a very open mind. So most of the stuff that I shoot, although it sort of links together, they're not shot as part of a project. I find it hard to do that kind of thing.
So almost sort of going forward within your journey on this earth, it's a whole project for you. It's a continuation all the time, isn't it?
That's cool. Well, photography for me, it's a bit of my life, really. I mean, I've been doing it since before I left school, so it's all I know how to do. And I just love photographing stuff, and it doesn't matter to me whether it's a landscape or whether it's a door or piece of wood in a lake or a tree or whatever. When things call out to me, I just want to be able to photograph them and do them some kind of justice. As long as they fit in a square and a black and white, we're okay.
Yeah.
So coming back to some questions. So Tina asks, what is the camera on the desk? It's the XS10, and we'll be talking about that after Paul has gone away. because Paul doesn't like the fact that it doesn't have numbers on the dials. Come back, you. We have a question from David for you, Paul. We can still see you slightly.
Yeah. We can still see you. There you go. Yeah.
What's your most used filter, Paul?
The 0.6 medium neutral density graduated filter that's made by Lee Filters.
Yeah,
I
can
get through probably 2 or 3 of those a month.
Say that again.
What?
I get through 2 or 3 of those a month.
How? I don't understand.
You break
using
You break them. Oh right, okay.
No. If you use them a lot, they get marked. You know, it doesn't matter how careful you are; they get marked. So I get through quite a lot of those.
Wow.
That's my most used filter.
Brilliant. Wow.
There you go. Very simple, and it's if people said if you had to buy one filter, that would be the one.
Okay.
But you'd need to buy
If I had
100.
Yeah. That's about a bag full of them. But you know, a lot of people make the mistake of buying, so many filters. But actually, you only need a few. You don't need to buy loads and loads. The more kit you have, the more confused you get. Keep it simple, and you have to, you have to sort of think that you've got to carry everything that you're taking with you.
Yeah. That's true.
And are you going to use it? If you buy something that's going to cost you a couple £100, are you actually going to use it? And if the answer is once a year, then actually don't buy it. Sorry, that's really not a good. That's not a good thing to say for a camera shop, is it? Don't.
I was just about to say, this is live. You can't chuck anything out anymore. So normally we'd put chicken squawks over that.
What we care about most is people's passion for photography.
No,
so if you're telling them not to buy something, we'll go with that.
Yeah. But for the people that do like to buy equipment,
come to us.
Yeah.
If you've got too much gear, go and speak to Paul, and he'll cull your collection of cameras and gear, and we'll help fulfill your desire for more gear.
Yeah.
So I would suggest that people buy a piece of kit that they're going to use and they're going to know, and add to it gradually, rather than buy everything all in one go and then not use it. Because if you buy too much, you don't use it. If you buy it in bits, you actually use it because you're advancing, and that's a way that you also keep customers, because they'll keep coming back because you guys offer the most incredible customer service. You're the friendliest camera shop in the country.
He says the nicest things.
We'll take that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, most of the time you're okay.
It's only you.
It's very true though, because we do get some customers that come in and go, right, I'd like a whole kit. So I want a wide angle, I want of this and I want of that. And we'd probably just say, well, hold on, why don't you just get a camera and a standard lens?
Yeah.
And
maybe a prime.
Possibly, depending on
I like
how fruity you feel.
prime.
Yeah. But see where, I mean, one thing that I always like saying to people as well is that if you've got like a standard 1855 on there, if you're turning it one way and you're going, oh, I feel like I want some more, then you know that you might need something with a little bit more telephoto. And if it's on the other end, so you're trying to keep zooming it out and you can't,
walk back.
Or you can potentially have a look at it's a wide angle. Sorry, Paul. Or walk backwards.
Yeah.
No, Paul's right. I always suggest, if they know how to use Lightroom, that they can look at the metadata to show them which focal length they use most.
Yeah.
Because quite often people say, I want to buy this, or I'm not sure what lens to buy next.
Yeah.
So it's always, go and have a look in your Lightroom and figure out.
It's really good advice if you haven't got a prime, but you've got a couple of zooms maybe.
Yeah.
You can filter via.
Your Inkscape will tell you
Yeah.
which focal length you enjoy using most.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, go on, Paul.
Do you want some breaking news?
Oh, please.
Just flashed up. Dominic Cummings has left number 10. See, now, Cambrian Photographic in Rhyl, near Rhyl, Colwyn Bay, is up there with the BBC breaking news. Bang.
Yeah.
You are out.
Flash it across? Yeah. Flash it across the bottom.
Tape.
Can we do that?
You're right up there. Anyway, that's enough.
We've got another question for you.
Come
Andy says, when are you visiting North Wales?
when we're allowed in.
Yeah, there we go. We'll have to organise another workshop with you, Paul.
I'd love to do one.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm slightly gutted you can't come up this year and do another snow one like we did a few years back. The mindful one in the snow.
Yeah,
that was great.
That was good fun. Well, we hadn't planned it to be snowy, had we? It just snowed.
But we took what we were given and went with it.
And we made the best of it.
Like you told us to.
Yeah, but I'm always happy to come up and do stuff with you guys. You know
that. Another question or statement is David Metcalf. Do you use them as coasters? I think you're referring to the 0.6 medium.
I'll tell you what I do use them for. What they are fantastic for when they're at marked is put them under the feet of your tripod on the beach, and then your tripod doesn't sink.
Oh my life! By the way, just as a side note, you can actually buy flat feet for your tripod.
Yeah,
but if you've got those, you don't need to buy flat feet. Although Cambrian obviously sell flat feet for tripods.
We're going to come to your office one day, or there'll be a picture of your office, and you'll have made a stained glass window just out of 0.6 neutral grad.
Okay, how much, Joel, is a 0.6 Lee graduated filter?
No,
about £90.
Yeah, 90.
Yeah, 90 pounds. How much are flat feet?
Depends if they're Gitzo or Benro.
Yeah.
Benro probably 30 or 40.
Yeah, about 30, £35. Yeah.
So you need 3 feet for 30 quid, yeah?
No, you get
sell people Lee filters, okay? Sell them 3 Lee filters. That's selling up. That is selling up, mate. All right, that's a big one. There's more profit on Lee filters than there is on cameras.
Oh dear. Right, moving on. Hello, Steve. I'm glad that you could join us. Helen Smith says, after she's spoken about Mojos, what's a good camera for someone who has only been using an iPhone? How do I filter the options down to a more manageable range? I don't mind spending, and I'm happy to practice and play around with it. Oh, that's quite a question.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's
a big question for you guys.
I feel like we might need to have a video call with you, Helen, to go through the options.
I think that would be something that we'd be happy to talk through with you.
Yeah.
I would say you couldn't do any better than talk to these guys, Helen.
There we go.
Really
a ringing endorsement from Mr. Sanders.
I buy all my kit from you.
You do, that's true. And now I'm wondering about Part Xing any of your gearing. The next Part X that comes in, there'll just be a stack of filters.
How many filters have you got? Oh no, they're just
Frisbees.
I have a box of filters like this.
That's ridiculous. Right. Gary Jones says late again. Sorry. No worries. Good to see you, Gary.
Good to see you, Gary.
It was good to see you the other day. It was nice for you to come in. Tina says it was an awesome day. The snow workshop, I think she's referring to.
Yeah.
Andy says he's got some 5-star accommodation for you. So you won't even have to stay anywhere. You can stay at his.
As long as he's got a plug for my electric car.
Yeah. And David says your workshops are very good, Paul. And he says, remind me, never let Paul use my kit. There we go. Everybody's going like this when you come towards them.
I'll take the pictures myself.
Yeah.
Lock up your gear.
It's better than lock up your daughters.
Yeah, that's true.
That's brilliant.
So yeah, Helen, just as a side note, feel free to contact us on Facebook and we'll arrange a video call for you. Because we've done that with a few other customers, especially over lockdown.
Yeah,
I actually managed to show somebody how to get a Panasonic camera out of Polish. They put it into Japanese, and then I managed to get them into English. So that was interesting.
Yeah, very good, Joel.
You're quite
interesting. Eh?
You're quite a talent.
It got more difficult when it was in Japanese.
Yeah, you had to get the book out.
Yeah. No, it was like
Translate.
5 clicks down, 1 click across. It was like playing Street Fighter on a games console.
Nice.
Doing special moves. Right. So, Paul, thank
Yes,
you very much for chatting with us.
It was a pleasure.
We will organise another chat with you at some point in the future. Hopefully, we can organise a time when you guys are free from lockdown for you to come up and have a workshop.
Yeah.
And we'll obviously mention it on here so that you lovely people can come and join Paul. And we won't let him near your filters, don't worry. We can call him the filter killer.
Yeah.
Just put that on a t-shirt.
You can design me a t-shirt, Joel.
There we go. And if you've got any more questions for Paul, feel free to pop them in the comments and we can get him to answer them in the comments at a later date.
Yep.
I will.
Don't forget as well the projects with Paul.
After dark,
actually, yeah, after dark.
on my way and by the back door.
By the back door.
On Monday night at 23:59. So, I'll email to Joel.
Yeah. And we'll have another video actually maybe next week if you're free. Paul.
Yeah.
So we can chat about them.
I'm at home for the next 3 weeks. I can't go anywhere. So.
You're not washing your hair?
No, it comes off. I just take it off. And put it in the machine.
Put it in the machine.
That's
only
lovely.
on 30. No dry cleaning.
Yeah, no dry cleaning. Yeah.
Sometimes it comes out and it's a bit further back, like that. Because I put it on too hot.
Oh my life. Right. Great to see you, Paul. We'll take you off the screen now as we discuss the XS10.
Yeah.
Yes, good to. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Actually, it is a very nice little camera.
Good.
We'll see you
Cheers,
again
Paul.
shortly.
Bye.
Well, that was wonderful having Paul.
It was.
Yeah, it was lovely to catch up with him.
It was.
What
a laugh.
Oh, absolutely
My
brilliant.
cheeks are hurting again.
Let us know in the comments that you enjoyed that talk, because we love giving chance to speak to other photographers. It's always nice to have. We should talk about this camera that's in front of us. So
the name is
the XS10.
X-S10.
Yes, indeed, and it is the new Fujifilm camera that they have launched, and it's slightly different from the other ones that they've done. Well, quite a lot different. Well, a little bit in between, maybe.
Yeah.
So it's got a lot of the internals that we find in things like the XT4,
yes.
but the way that it actually looks and works is completely different.
Yep.
So
it has still got the magic.
Still got the magic.
Still got the beautiful Fuji colours.
Those filters that are inside as well, and they keep on improving on that. And the way that you can adjust the filters internally as well to do lots of different things with them. So they're always on about the experience that you can have inside the camera, and it's a lovely system to do that. But as you'll probably notice, we haven't got a zoomed in view today, so I'll just have to hold it up there, and you probably won't see, but you can see this camera in a little bit more detail on our website as well. That they've got rid of their Fujifilm's conventional way of shooting, which is putting on the shutter, the aperture, and the ISO actually on physical dial buttons. So
we've gone to the PASM.
The PASM.
Or the PAMS.
Yeah, I almost want to
do
that.
Or the PASM button.
Yeah. So
dial, sorry.
It does mean that if you're coming from another system and you've liked what other things that Fuji are doing, so things like the color, and pretty much shooting JPEG straight out the camera, but you prefer the PASM system setup that you find on,
which is good. It's like it's fast. You can go from like program just to shutter priority or aperture priority.
I mean, depending on the way that you like to shoot. Personally, I find it a lot faster, but it's because I've been used to another system. So it feels a lot nicer for me to use. But once again, I still enjoy using the other Fuji cameras. If you're already a Fuji user, may not be an upgrade for you, I think that would be looking at
it's a
things.
different way of looking at a
It
camera
is
for Fuji.
totally different way. It's a different feel.
Big difference as well is that, well, not a big difference if you use an XH1,
Yep.
or maybe the XT4, but the grip is very deep, which is really comfortable to hold on to, which makes it feel a bit more DSLR-ish.
Yeah.
The dials are nice and big in terms of the ones that are multifunctional.
The ones that move are great. So there are 3 dials that move on it. So you've got your front dial wheel, one on your thumb, and then also one that is available in the other hand as well. So you can change, your 3 different components of your photography very, very quickly if you wanted to as well.
It's got the X-Trans 4, so the same one as the XT4 sensor, 24 megapixel. It's got IBIS, like the XH1 and the XT4 does. So that's really, really handy, especially because they've made it possible to reverse this screen. It has a microphone input.
Brilliant.
So you can use it for vlogging if that's one of your things. If you're not just straight photographer like Paul was talking about and you like a bit of video, then you can use it for video work, which is fantastic, and be able to have really good audio, which makes life a lot easier. And also you can have headphones out with the USB-C adapter.
So you can hear things as you're recording them as well.
Make sure that the sound is as good as it needs to be. And we've not had a full play yet because it only arrived recently. So one of us is going to take it home for the weekend and the other one's going to... It's true, I'm working tomorrow. And then I'll have a play with it later on in the week just to get kind of our thoughts with it. But yeah, it looks like and it feels like it's going to be a really good camera, especially for those that thought, do you know what, I really, really wanted an XT3 or an XT4 or
but it just didn't feel right. Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see how they develop. S10 suggests that there might be an XS1 in the future.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
I honestly don't know. But XT4 and XT... Will there be an XT40? Maybe. Because they did the XT3 and the XT30 and it had the same sensor. So maybe that's the way that they'll go, which will be very interesting because then people who want all of the benefits of Fuji, great color, great technology, great sensor with the X-Trans with no anti-alias filter and the IBIS inside, but don't quite want that kind of retro old school vibe with the dials. That's a great choice.
Yeah, no, it certainly is. We look forward to sharing some of our sort of touch and try stuff that we're going to be doing over this week with you prolongly as well. So yes, brilliant. I think we're there. We've done over an hour.
Goodness me,
over an hour this week.
Thank you for those that stayed all the way to the end.
They start dwindling off now. So.
We hope you enjoyed listening to Paul Sanders, very inspirational photographer and man. He's a good laugh as well. Got a great sense of humor.
Absolutely brilliant.
Hopefully we'll see him next week.
And
thank you again for spending time with us, and we will see you next week.
Indeed. Thank you very much for
share.
I know I'm doing it now. Thank you very much for everyone commenting on our live post. It's always most appreciated. The more that you place your comments into our comments.
Of our comments.
They're brilliant. They range. They go from different things. Don't forget to like the video as well. So the more you like the video, the more it helps us. And share the video with all your friends. Make sure you go onto our Facebook and YouTube channels and subscribe. Hit the notifications so you know when we go live. Everyone have a very good weekend and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye for now.
Cheers.
You're pushing the button this week.
Oh, yeah.